Okay, now right here back on our calendar that we use in the West, you've used this calendar all your life if you're watching this video and you live in America. Okay, you've never paid attention to this stuff. I didn't for many years. When you look at your calendar, lay a calendar in front of you, and it don't matter what year it is, it doesn't matter. Just take a few things into account. How many days are in each month? 31, 30, 28 in February, or 29. Think about the Bible calendar. It's 360 days long on an average, and it's either 29 days or 30 days because the lunar cycle is 29.5 days long. So what you have is one month that's 29 days, the next month's 30, the next month's 29 days, and so on. It's very simple, user-friendly calendar. You don't need a calendar on the wall. You watch the western sky at evening time, right before the sun sets at the end of each month. You can see the new crest of the moon, and then you know the following day's new month day, and it's separate from the week cycle. Unlike the Roman calendar, next month day is just the next day on the month. Whatever it would be, you know, coming right up, 31st day of May, and then the next day is the first day, and then it goes right down through the cycle of the week. You know, you stopped on a Monday, and that month you pick right up to Tuesday. It ain't like that. Lord's Days resets. It starts new month day. That's a day all by itself. Ezekiel 46, check it out. There is new moon day. That's the first day every month. It's set aside. And then you count 6 work days and a Sabbath day, because he said the gate would be open on the day of the new month day and on the Sabbath day. I'm just trying to give you a few points here and there. We're going to get all this in depth on it when I go back to it. I just want to give you a little think on the way. This is what we have dealt with all throughout our life here in the West. Well, now I'm going to take you across and show you what is in the Middle East. What you have here is a Islamic calendar. Now, when you look at the zoom in right here, you'll notice that on the month, it has a Roman calendar. This is a Gregorian Roman calendar, but there's something different. The Islamic calendar is worked into the Roman calendar. So they still can figure out what is the Roman Gregorian calendar, but they go off the lunar cycle, purely lunar calendar. This is a purely lunar calendar. It don't go off the sun. That's why Ramadan, their holy month and everything, if you notice that stuff in Ramadan, that it backs up or forward depending on where it falls during the year. That month there is a blue for the number. That means that's when the new month started and they count through. You'll notice their months float through the Roman Gregorian months. Okay? Well, that's very important because the Father's calendar doesn't pay any attention to the Roman Gregorian calendar. When you put them over top of each other, they don't match. The months run through each other's months. You put the Roman on top of the Bible one, it don't match. Put the Bible on top of the Roman one, it don't match. They can't coincide with each other. That's why people that say Saturday's the seventh day, well, yes, it sure is on the Roman calendar of every week, but it's not the seventh day Sabbath to the Lord thy God. Okay? Even when you give this thought for a moment, whenever you start adding up the math during the Exodus account, the Lord plainly said when they went out to gather manna on the Sabbath day, when he told them not to, he said that he was testing them whether they'd walk in his law before he gave them his law. See, he was restoring the calendar a little along before they got to the mountain, and he gave them the 10 Commandments, which is the most important thing you can ever imagine under salvation because it defines sin. So with this Islamic calendar, they pay no attention to the sun, but they pay complete attention to the moon. So it's right the flip-flop of what Romanism is. Okay, but then of course, you know, Islamic is paganism. Okay, they deny Christ, and what you have though is, like I said, their months float through Roman Gregorian months. So if you were in an Islamic nation right now, you'd have a fit trying to figure out the calendar because it's completely flip-flop over what we have. All right. The only thing that is so helpful when you look at the Islamic calendar, and I've tried to give a little bit of everywhere around the world, is when you look at that, it gives you kind of an idea of what you would have to get ingrained in your head with the Bible calendar, because that's about how you have to work it into a Roman Gregorian calendar. But World's Last Chance has put together a printable monthly calendar that you can fill in inside the Roman calendar, so you know God's calendar days and don't have to try to follow both. You can write it down, His holy days, and remember it, and not have to worry about it. But that's exactly what the Muslims have to do, because everybody goes off the Roman Gregorian calendar, and in order to still worship Allah in the way they want to, they have to keep up with when their holy days are within it. So next section I'm going to go to the Jewish calendar, and then you'll see another example of the Middle East.